Alrighty, today is Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. I'm Jason Shapiro with CrowdedMarketReport.com. So today was kind of fun and interesting. You know, we came in the morning and overnight the stock market, this is the S&P, was getting hit a few times. And then we had this news from Russia where Putin said something about the use of nuclear weapons or something. And I just got to say, anybody who's going to make a trade based on nuclear weapon news is just begging to lose money, okay? The chances of nuclear weapons being used are so small. I'm not going to call it impossible because the second I do that, they'll blow one up in my house. But they're so small. It doesn't. I'm not going to get into the whole philosophy of why they're so small, but it's a very, very small chance that they're ever going to lose nuclear weapons. And the truth is, as the story goes, if they do, what the hell's the point of being short anyway? Who's going to settle the trade with you? We're all going to be dead. So who even cares, right? But to make that trade, and that's exactly what happened. The people that tried to sell it on that news got destroyed, right? And that was across the board, right? We had bonds catch a bid on that news, and the people that bought the bonds on that news got destroyed, right? Even the people that tried to buy crude oil, here was it on the crude oil, got destroyed. Although I have to say, I'm a little bit biased because I'm bullish energy, but crude oil did all right in the end, right? It's not like it did what these other stocks closed on highs, right? Crude came off, and then it actually rebounded and held and closed up a little bit on the day. But you understand the point. Even the dollar too did the same type of thing, right? People ran into the Swiss franc, and then they got whacked, right? Because the Swiss is the big, safety trade. People ran into the yen, and they got hit, right? As a safety trade. So you just don't do that. You know what I mean? In particular on a piece of news like that. And something I've talked about a number of times, well, here's like the Canadian dollar. So the Canadian dollar actually, where we know people are very short, got bid on some good news today. They had stronger, I don't know if you're going to call it good news, but they had stronger than expected inflation numbers, which is positive news for the Canadian dollar, given that less chance they're going to cut interest rates. And as I've said a million times, at first it tried to fail, but we don't trade failures. We weren't looking to get short the Canadian dollar anyway, but even if we were, we don't trade failures that happen an hour into the day. You have to wait for that to happen on the close. I know I say this a lot, but I'm just going to point it out every time because it's such an important thing. We had a similar thing in silver. Silver tried to fail halfway through the day, but came back. We don't want to sell it halfway through the day. If it fails on the close, when we're looking to get short, that's one thing. But you have to wait until the end of the day to make these type of decisions, right? As for me, I'm still long some that gas. There was something that went on here. It was looking great. Something went on here, but it finished up okay. At least it finished up on the day. I'm still long that thing versus the low from last Friday. And the Russell, which I had mentioned in the report, in my report this weekend, I've been short. I've been looking to find a place to cover because as it turns out, I'm not supposed to be short. I thought I was. There wasn't as much buying last week in the CO2 report as I expected. So I was looking for a place to get out of that short. Lucky that it was in the money. Just lucky. And I was going to try and cover that when the NASDAQ started to lead the market higher. And that's exactly what happened. Actually, it really started happening here. Me being the shitty trader that I am, I waited until this area to cover, which is fine. I'm glad to have made money on that trade, given that it wasn't really a trade I was even supposed to have on, as it turned out. I'm glad to not be short the stock market because I hate being short the stock market. And now I can wait and we can see, how the data comes out this Friday, right? Like I said, the data last Friday did not give us the amount of buying I expected. Maybe there was some buying between the Tuesdays. I don't know. But we can see, and now I can be out of this and I can just have trades on that I'm supposed to have on and have gotten lucky, made a little bit of money shorting the Russell. So that was wonderful. It's nice to be lucky sometimes. And we move on. And that's really the case. That's really everything. And of course, Bitcoin, which went up and always goes up. So, the Bitcoin thing is funny here because it's like nobody wants to chase something that's gone up this much, right? And that's probably why it keeps going up, until they actually chase it. Again, it's hard to measure on the COT and the positioning right now what Bitcoin, what the read is on Bitcoin. It's a very tough read. You know, you can see the large specs are very short, but the small specs are very long. So it's a tough read. But it did close on new all-time highs today. And what don't we do? We do not short all-time highs. So if you're looking to be short Bitcoin, wait for some sort of market confirmation before you do it. It's the best advice I can give. And tomorrow, of course, we have Nvidia. I did write in my report this week that I thought, what could Nvidia possibly surprise to the upside? Like, I get it, they could beat earnings, they could beat revenue, but is anything a surprise anymore with an AI stock beating revenue and beating earnings? I don't know. However, I think that might be pretty consensus here. Having said that, I think that everybody knows that Nvidia failed the last 2 or 3 times on earnings. They had good earnings, it gapped up and closed down, and that's probably what they're expecting this time. If that's what they're expecting this time, then why did Nvidia close on highs today? And basically all-time highs going into it. If you're expecting this thing to drop once earnings come out, why would you be buying it? So I think it's just something to be careful of here. You know, I don't know which one's going to happen. If anything, it probably ends up being a much less volatile event than people are expecting it. But we got to wait. You know, that's the key. Let them do it. Let them come out with earnings. Let the market do what it's going to do. Let's not be fooled halfway through the day on Thursday. Let's wait and see how it closes. Let's see how the markets react to all this. And then we can start to think about taking some action. But clearly, I can make both sides of this Nvidia story, what's going to happen here. Which, again, probably means it does a hell of a lot less than anybody expects. But, again, let's see. Okay? So, those are the thoughts today. Not particularly easy markets here. Although, like I say, if there was an easy trade today, it was fading the idea that there was going to be a nuclear war breaking out. You know, like I say, anyone who was shorting stocks, buying oil, buying bonds, buying Swiss franc, on the back of there's going to be a nuclear war breaking out, was just begging to get run over, right? So sometimes when you see a trade where people are begging to get run over, you can try and take the other side. I hesitated. I have no way to get long anyway, but I did cover my shorts in the Russell finally. I could have done it earlier, whatever, we'll take it. So watch out for stuff like that too. All right, those are the thoughts. Hope everyone had a good day. Please like the video if in fact you like it. Check us out, crowdedmarketreport.com. Check out our Substacks. Check out all our YouTube videos. I quite a few interviews in the last couple of weeks that I thought might be of interest to people, and we'll check you out soon. All right, thank you.